Here's your wrestling news for December 17th, 2025. Your headlines for today include WWE secretly setting up a double agent storyline for Seth Rollins, major WWE star pulled from event, replacement announced, breaking, new WWE champion crowned after controversial botch, backstage fallout after WWE botch, what really happened, surprise return shakes NXT, big name challenges Ethan Page, TNA's Leon Slater set for WWE NXT title shot, and more. As seen on Raw this week, Austin Theory officially revealed himself as the masked man aligned with the Vision, but the moment didn't land the way WWE expected. As we reported in yesterday's video, multiple creative figures stationed in gorilla position were surprised by the lukewarm reaction to Theory's unmasking. Internally, there's a growing belief that the response suffered because Theory being the attacker had become an open secret among fans, draining the reveal of its intended shock value. According to Dirt Sheet reports, Triple H, who was reportedly high on the storyline, was disappointed with how the moment played out. As a result, WWE Creative is now looking to course correct with an added emphasis on restoring surprise and intrigue. While nothing is finalized, one of the current directions being discussed, credited internally as Paul Heyman's brainchild, introduces a major twist. Under this idea, Austin Theory would act as Seth Rollins' double agent, secretly feeding him information from inside the Vision while Rollins remains off television. Notably, creative sources are said to have no plans to turn Rollins babyface upon his return, which actually strengthens the angle. The masked attacker targeted CM Punk, LA Knight, and Rey Mysterio, all three of whom have prior history and unresolved animosity with Rollins, making the attacks feel personal rather than random. There is also existing storyline history that supports this direction. Seth Rollins and Austin Theory already share a past connection, dating back to Theory's time in Rollins' Monday Night Messiah faction, a link that adds credibility to the double agent concept. At this stage, how the storyline ultimately concludes has not been locked in. Internally, however, this angle is being viewed as one of WWE's more layered and intriguing narratives heading into 2026. Once again, it's important to stress this is just one creative plan currently being discussed, and WWE is known to pivot quickly. What do you think of this direction? Does the double agent twist save the storyline, or should WWE go in a completely different direction? Sound off in the comments below. Raquel Rodriguez has been placed in concussion protocol following a brutal spot on the December 15th episode of Monday Night Raw. The incident occurred during the Women's World Championship match, which was thrown into chaos by the shocking return of Nikki Bella. Bella blindsided both Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel Rodriguez, completely derailing the match. The most alarming moment came when Nikki sent Raquel headfirst into the steel steps, a violent collision that immediately raised concern, as Raquel was left visibly shaken with a large knot forming on her head. Following the show, Brian Alvarez revealed new details about what happened once the camera stopped rolling. According to one of his sources, Raquel was placed into WWE's concussion protocol as a precaution. Raquel got shoved into the steps. They didn't show this, but she hit her head hard. She got this giant goose egg on her head. So yeah, she's in concussion protocol. That does not mean she has a concussion. Anytime you get any sort of head injury and get a goose egg, they put you in concussion protocol just to make sure you're okay. While there is no confirmed diagnosis of an actual concussion at this time, being placed in protocol means Raquel will be monitored closely and will not be cleared to compete until she passes all required evaluations. WWE takes these situations seriously, especially with a powerhouse performer like Rodriguez, whose in-ring style is extremely physical. For now, Raquel's return to action remains uncertain. Fans are hopeful this is strictly a precautionary move and not a long-term setback, particularly with her now clearly entangled in a major storyline involving Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer. Do you think Nikki Bella went too far with that spot on Raquel Rodriguez, or was it simply an unfortunate accident and a high-stakes moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Penta has officially pulled out of AAA's Guerra de Titanes event on December 20th, bringing an end to hopes of a full Lucha Bros reunion alongside Rey Fenix. And this time, the decision is final, straight from Penta himself. In an Instagram video addressing fans directly, Penta confirmed that he will not be medically cleared in time to compete due to a lingering shoulder injury, despite exhausting every possible option to return. As you know, I suffered a shoulder injury a few weeks ago, and I have truly done everything possible, everything within my power, along with the doctors in both Mexico and the United States, to recover as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, from a medical standpoint, I am not cleared to return to the ring on December 20th. While he won't be stepping into the ring, Penta made it clear he still plans to be a part of the event in a major way. He confirmed that he will attend Guerra de Titanes in person and followed that announcement with a massive replacement reveal. However, I will be there with all of you in person at this show because it's something I simply cannot miss, and I have great news for everyone and for all the fans attending this event. The wrestler who will be taking my place is none other than the living legend Rey Mysterio. It'll be the first time my brother Rey Fenix and Rey Mysterio team together, something you absolutely cannot miss. Instead of a Lucha Bros reunion, fans will now witness a historic first-time pairing between Rey Fenix and Rey Mysterio. But Penta wasn't finished. He closed his message with a pointed warning aimed directly at Dominic Mysterio, making it clear that unfinished business still looms. And lastly, this message is for you, Dominic. This time, you got away with it. I don't know what you did, but you escaped this time. But I'll tell you this, remember it well, I will not let up until I take that Intercontinental Championship from you. While injury may have kept Penta out of the match, his presence and his intentions remain very much felt. What's your take on Penta being replaced by Rey Mysterio? Were you more excited for the Lucha Bros reunion, or does this new twist deliver something even bigger? Sound off in the comments below. Last week on NXT, Blake Monroe issued an open challenge for the Women's North American Championship, only for the situation to spiral quickly. As multiple women from the locker room answered the challenge, Thea struck from behind, locking Monroe in a Kimura and forcing her to submit. In response, Ava officially granted Hale a title match for this week's episode. The championship bout opened the show and ended in complete chaos. During the match, Thea Hale connected with a springboard senton and followed it with a roll-up. The referee completed a full 3 count with Monroe's arm not being lifted in time, officially signaling a title change. The delayed bell, the visible shock from both competitors, and WWE initially playing Blake Monroe's entrance music all strongly suggest the finish was not scripted. WWE later corrected the moment by playing Hale's music, but Monroe was visibly confused, immediately questioning the referee as Hale celebrated in the ring. Slow-motion replays further show Monroe raising her arm only after the 3 count was completed, reinforcing that the pinfall itself was legally counted, while the overall ending still appeared to catch everyone off guard. According to WrestleVotes, the title change was completely unforeseen, with backstage discussions already underway about how to move forward following the confusing but undeniably impactful ending. Thankfully, though, the situation was indeed addressed later in the night. Backstage, Thea Hale was interviewed about her title win when Blake Monroe confronted her directly. Monroe argued that she deserved an immediate rematch, pointing to the officiating error that led to the controversial finish earlier in the show. With that exchange, WWE effectively acknowledged the confusion surrounding the title change and strongly hinted that Monroe's rematch is only a matter of time. Tatum Paxley's unsettling presence continued to loom large over the culling on NXT this week. During a promo segment filmed inside the Culling's clubhouse area, a doll resembling Nico Vance was discovered, immediately raising eyebrows. Shortly afterward, Izzy Dame was shown on the phone with Shawn Spears, expressing concern that she couldn't locate Nico. Moments later, the situation escalated when Izzy found an action figure of Shawn Spears, further deepening the mystery. The pattern is becoming impossible to ignore. The male members of the culling appear to be disappearing one by one, with no clear explanation and no sign of their whereabouts. That unease was amplified by the announcement that Izzy is scheduled to face Lola Vice next week, yet Nico Vance is notably absent from the match graphic. Combined with the ominous Shawn Spears figure, it strongly suggests Spears may also be missing from the equation moving forward. All signs point back to Paxley and the haunting message from her promo last week. If this is her version of payback, it appears the reckoning has already begun, and it may only be getting darker as the holiday season approaches. Ethan Page made his presence felt this week with a straightforward heel promo, but the segment quickly shifted once Stax interrupted. Fresh off winning the TNA International Championship, Stax bragged about holding gold and made it clear he wanted more, stating his intention to pursue the AAA Mixed Tag Team titles alongside Ariana Grace. The situation took an unexpected turn when TNA's Moose appeared. He locked eyes with Stax on his way to the ring and openly took issue with yet another NXT talent holding a TNA championship. Page was content to let the tension play out until Moose revealed his real reason for being there. Moose wasn't focused on Stax, he was there for Ethan Page. Moose announced that he wants to bring an NXT championship back to TNA and confirmed that Ava has already approved a title match for New Year's Evil. With that, the direction of the segment finally became clear. While the outcome added a notable match to the New Year's Evil card, the build itself felt uneven. The segment lacked focus early on and only found its purpose in the very end, making the setup feel rushed rather than impactful. What do you think of Moose challenging Ethan Page at New Year's Evil? Was this the right way to set up the match? Sound off below. After a brief run in Pro Wrestling Noah, Hank and Tank returned to NXT this week to face Lucian Price and Bronco Nima. While it would have been a nice touch to see more acknowledgement of their time holding the GHC tag team titles on NXT television, the focus quickly shifted to the match itself. With 4 power-based competitors in the ring, this was never going to be a technical showcase. The bout was built around physicality and heavy contact, with both teams looking to overpower the other. However, the opening minutes struggled to find rhythm as excessive posturing slowed the pace and prevented the match from gaining early momentum. Despite the talent involved, the contest never fully reached its potential. That was disappointing, especially considering Hank and Tank's credentials as former champions and the sense that OTM is still on the verge of a breakout moment. The finish saw Hank score the pin with an inside cradle, evening the score at 1 win apiece. With the series now tied, a decisive rubber match feels inevitable. In a backstage segment, Ava informed Jasper Troy that WWE will be holding a tournament to determine the next challenger for the Speed Championship. Ricky Saints was revealed as the man arriving in the SUV during the tag match, and he made his way to the ring after the break to address why he cost Javon Evans the NXT Championship at Deadline. Several security guards surrounded the ring as he spoke. The crowd booed heavily as Saints made it clear he wasn't there to apologize. Instead, he said that his goal in NXT was to prove that he is exactly as good as he claims to be. Saints insisted he tried to offer Evans advice, but when Evans refused to listen, he brought the consequences on himself. Evans stormed out to confront him, slipping past security after one side of the ring was left unguarded. Saints quickly regained control, sending Evans into the steel steps before clearing off the announce table. He capped off the segment by driving Evans through the table with his finisher. While the crowd noise at times drowned out parts of the promo, Saints still delivered a solid statement performance. His words established a clear heel turn, and standing tall over Evans decisively reinforced this new role. Evolve Women's Champion Kendal Gray and Wren Sinclair took on Women's Speed Champion Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed. This was a competitive back-and-forth match that allowed all 4 women to shine, but Kendal Gray clearly stood out. JC Jane joined commentary, adding context to the rivalry as the action unfolded. Gray once again looked like a step ahead of her peers. She continues to impress with every outing, showing rapid improvement and growing confidence in the ring. At the pace she's developing, she's positioning herself as a future top-tier talent in WWE sooner rather than later. The match ultimately came down to Gray, who sealed the win by forcing Lainey Reed to submit to an armbar, capping off a strong performance and reinforcing her momentum coming out of the bout. The main event featured a fatal 4-way to determine the next challenger for Oba Femi's NXT Championship, pitting the 4 men who came up short in the Iron Survivor match against one another. All 4 competitors jumped straight into the action, but Leon Slater and Joe Hendry were quickly sent to the floor, allowing Dion Lennox and Miles Bourne to briefly square off one-on-one. From there, the match opened up into a fast-paced, creative showcase. Lennox, Bourne, and Hendry all demonstrated their versatility, while Slater leaned into his aerial offense, reminding everyone why he's considered one of NXT's top young high flyers. There was no clear advantage for any one competitor, which made the outcome feel genuinely unpredictable. Momentum shifted repeatedly as each man had moments to shine. In the end, Slater capitalized on an opening, connecting with a 450 splash on Bourne to score the pinfall and officially become the new #1 contender for Oba Femi's NXT title. That was WWE NXT this week. How would you rate the show overall? Which segment stood out the most for you and why? Sound off in the comments below. Don't miss our next video coming at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with all the latest wrestling updates. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.